10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
We are live from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome to the Melo Global Show, where we look at trendy global stories affecting us. I'm your host, Emelda Kamonya. I will also be joined by a panel of opinion leaders, but before that, let's take a look at the stories making headlines today. Coca-Cola in Japan. Coca-Cola launched a lemon-flavored alcopop in Japan in a bid to tap new markets and consumers. This move aims at a growing market of young drinkers, especially women. The drinks were officially available on the shelves by June 4th this year. A woman dubbed as air supply by Kenyan media was arrested days after it was revealed she received 59 million Kenyan shillings from a government agency. Anne Wambere was arrested with 3 of her family members as an investigation into corruption scandal which has hit the National Youth Service, where ghost tenders were being issued. Meanwhile, millennials thriving in emerging markets. Studies have shown there is a rise in millennial entrepreneurship in developing economies. This comes even after entrepreneurship rates for people under 30 have fallen by 65% since the 1980s. Experts blame issues such as high student debt to the rising cost of living. Going to the first topic making headlines today, studies have shown there's a rise in millennial entrepreneurship in developing countries. This has come even after entrepreneurship rates for people under 30 have fallen by 65% since the 1980s. Experts blame this to issues such as high student debts to the rising cost of living. One part of the world where entrepreneurship is alive and well is emerging markets, for example, here in Kenya. And in such nations, millennials are both a powerful consumer demographically with well-defined taste and on the cutting edge of the entrepreneurial revolution. In these areas, millennials help drive economic transformation by opening a wide range of businesses and catering to diverse needs. This brings us to today's topic of discussion, entrepreneurship in Kenya. And the question of the day is, do you think it is easy to start your own business in Kenya? Comment using the hashtag business in Kenya using our social media platforms at Emelda K_Mosh at Melo Global. But before that, here's more insight from the street bars.
Emerging markets simply have more young people than developed markets. By one estimate, emerging markets account for some 89.8% of the global population under 30. For instance, despite talk of a rapidly aging population, China's working age consumers ages between 15 to 59 are estimated to expand by 20%, nearly 100 million people, over the next 15 years. And in emerging markets at least, millennials are more optimistic about the future. In a survey of 8,000 millennials across 30 countries, emerging market millennials are expected to be better off financially by 71% and emotionally by 62% than their parents. In contrast, pessimism was rampant in developed economies, where only 36% of millennials expected the social and political situations to improve over the next year. Many more millennials expected to be worse off than their parents. Is Kenya a suitable place to start up your business?
Kwa maoni yangu naona inawezekana, sababu ukiwa na maono mazuri na uwe na pesa, I think unaweza endelea vizuri.
In Kenya, no. It's actually really hard because of the tax rates we have. Yeah, our tax rates are really high. It discourages people from investing. Yeah, so it's not easy for anyone to start a business.
Reporting live for the Melo Global International, I am Kagonja Kevin.
Joining me live is Kevin Kagwanja, my field correspondent. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So far, what are people saying? Is it easy for Kenyans to start up their own businesses in Kenya, or is it hard?
For majority of people here on the field, what I collected was that they actually say no because of the high taxation, and to get licenses, it's really hard. It's even harder for you to access a loan, more so if you have a HELB loan that you haven't paid. As of now, people seem to have to find Kenya a really hard place to find work.
And finally, before I release you, what are your personal opinions concerning this topic of discussion today?
I think the government is trying to make strides to actually promote Kenya to be an economic or an entrepreneurial country, while there's still more to be done, and I think they have to take up the challenge.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Back to you in studio.
I'm reading some of your comments on Twitter and Facebook. At Gracie says no, taxation is high and it's almost impossible to start up a business in Kenya. There's also one John NK. He says that with capital it is possible to start up a business in Kenya. Keep the conversation going on Twitter and Facebook using the hashtag business in Kenya. Shortly I'll be joined live by a panel of opinion leaders after the break. Welcome back to the Melo Global Show. Before the break, we took a look at street buzz. And now joining me live is our first opinion leader, Walter. He's a businessman. Welcome to the Melo Global Show, Walter.
Thank you so much.
What business are you currently venturing into?
I'm venturing into the events organization in the entertainment industry.
Okay. What ignited the spark in you to start that new business venture?
And the reason I decided to choose events is because events create a platform for people to network and socialize. And it's also because I had the passion in events organizing that I started at a young age, at the age of 16, and grew into professional into when I joined campus.
Okay. How do you find people to bring into your organization who truly care about the organization the way that you do?
The first thing is to get good employees who have the same vision as yourself and get to correlate with everyone in the team. That's what makes Bambika successful.
And how important have the good employees been to your success?
They've helped me with so many ideas. They've helped me in terms of logistics planning, and they've helped me also in marketing. I believe I have the good team in the events industry so far. As much as we are few, they have a very maximum output.
Going to our topic of discussion today, we're talking about young entrepreneurs, the so-called millennials, and how they are venturing into businesses. Currently in Kenya, was it difficult for you to get capital to start your business?
Yes, it was. In Kenya, the cost of starting business is very high. And with the appreciative, the government can reduce taxes into venturing into the organization and also getting licenses.
Okay. And if you had the chance to start your career over again, what would you do differently?
I don't think I would want to start up again because it's been tough at the beginning. But all in all, I learned to cope with challenges and I just stick to my vision. That's it.
Thank you so much for joining me live. That was Walter. He's a young entrepreneur into the Bambika business events.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Also joined by another opinion leader, Sharon Kabiru. She is an entrepreneur and also a student.
Thank you.
Can you describe to me your typical day as a young entrepreneur and what business you venture into?
I am a student, so I have classes from morning to evening. Afterwards, I have training, basketball training. And then at night is when I do my business, when everyone is settled in their hostels. So I mostly do door-to-door and sometimes off campus to my friends and the network they have.
Okay, what has motivated you to venture into this business?
It gets to a point in life where you don't want to ask your mom for everything, so that's what motivated me. I don't want to ask for airtime anymore, so I started to do my side thing
Yeah.
to support my other financial needs.
What is your greatest fear when it comes to your business and how do you manage that fear?
Mostly the fear is someone can buy two pairs of socks and they're satisfied. So who are you going to sell to tomorrow? But I thank God because every day I get to meet new people that I sell to, so I never run out of market.
Going back to our topic of discussion today as young entrepreneurs, millennials, what would you say Kenya has done for you as a young entrepreneur that has made your business easier, or is your business easy for now?
I wouldn't say it's easy because I have to walk door to door. Each hostel, some are very far away. Kenya has not really done anything apart from creating awareness that the youth are venturing into business, because I came up with my own capital with the help of my mom. Yeah, the government needs to encourage youth more and maybe give them supply of capital and other things.
And finally, before I release you, what can you tell to young entrepreneurs who want to start their businesses? What can you tell them for the young people?
It's possible. You just need to start working with the little capital you have. Because I only started my business with 500 shillings, and now I'm making big profits. So when you have the idea, just put it into practice. That's all. Don't wait and wait. Oh, government, employment. Yeah. Use whatever you have, and the results will be great. I promise.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I am joined live by Charlene Kibue. She's a young entrepreneur. She's into the agriculture sector. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Can you be specific exactly to what goods do you sell in the agriculture sector?
I ventured into selling eggs, sukuma wiki or kales, some spinach, and some milk. I'm all rounded. Yeah.
How do you go about marketing your business?
At first it was tough, but I started by using my parents' platform where I used to work for them. Then after that, I started advertising my goods on WhatsApp and around my community. And since I'm a student at Leicester University, when I go home during the weekends, I usually come with eggs, milk, and some vegetables, where I advertise them via WhatsApp, what I've just said, and going door to door to the hostels.
It's a good thing that you brought that up. Between going door to door and WhatsApp, what would you consider your most successful form of marketing?
I prefer door to door because that's where you get to know what your customers prefer. When you WhatsApp, you will advertise, but most people are not interested. They just see it and ignore it, and they won't remember. But when you go and offer your services to them, they remember your product and also your services, if you have good PR and services. Yes.
Okay. And who or to what do you most attribute your success to?
Both my parents. They were strict when I was at home, and I usually go during the weekends. I have to go and supervise when the workers are milking. You're giving food to the cows. When you're packing the eggs into trays, I became interested over time, and that's when I decided to venture into it also.
And finally, before I release you, what is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
My favorite aspect, you get to know your customers face to face. Most people these days prefer online advertisement. I don't do that. I don't like that because you get to meet your customer, you get to know what they want, you get to hear their complaints, and at the end of the day, you develop a personal relationship with them. Whereby, even if they don't have money, they can just take the goods like eggs, milk, they can pay monthly or when they have money. Because if you don't develop a personal relationship with them, it won't work out at the end, since they don't feel like there's any way you can help them if they don't have any capital or when they're stranded. Yes.
Thank you so much for being in our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Question: is it possible for one to start up their own business in Kenya? Yes, this is actually possible if one has capital, the business idea, and the right channels for the business venture to be successful. Make sure you have a clear budget on the amount of money you want to start up your business with. Secondly, make sure that your plan can be implemented. Make sure that the plan is well executed for you to execute your business idea. And last but not least, one needs to study the market that they want to venture into before starting up a business. That was all for Melo Global Show today. I have been your host, Emelda Kamonya. Keep it the Global Network.